So I know you guys saw the headlines. Federal government pulls approval for New York City congestion pricing. Wow. Now, here's the scoop, okay? So the Department of Transportation announced on yesterday, that it has terminated its approval for the pilot program. Remember, it rolled out January 5th. So right now, it's unclear how or when the Federal Department of Transportation's decision could impact the program. So the MTA filed papers in a federal court to ensure that the program continues. And in the filing, the MTA called the decision to terminate the agreement unlawful. So basically, Governor Kathy Hochul said that the tolling cameras will remain while the MTA's case plays out in court. So for everybody just jumping up and dancing thinking it's over now, bro, it's not.
It's not over. Hit the button. So now here will be the interesting part. I read, Laura Stiles, I don't know if this is in the article you have, but I read that Kathy Hochul went as far as saying not only will the cameras and sensors remain, they're going to keep charging people.
Yes.
That's the part I'm trying to figure out.
Right, because you can't just say that the sensors will remain, because the sensors were there before they started charging people. They're going to continue to charge people. So then you're going to have people who go ahead and run up these charges in hopes that at someday they're going to get dismissed and they ain't going to have to pay. That's going to be an interesting thing.
Congratulations.
The other thing I find interesting, I want to take your calls after 8, is I know people who love congestion pricing who take mass transit and take buses, and they love the way the buses are flowing. And they're like, yo, the buses are moving on time, early, right? They love it. Now, there's people on trains who are saying that the trains are more congested, but, you know, there's also people who drive that I know that can afford it, that love the congestion price, including myself. So it's going to be interesting to see what the voters actually want, because I'm thinking the people who are against congestion pricing mostly are drivers, obviously, and people who don't live in Manhattan but only come into Manhattan for work.
Right.
Construction workers, people maybe who come in early, things like that.
Right, and business owners. A lot of parking lots are suffering, and vendors and stores downtown are saying.
Yeah.
According to Kathy Hochul, and she could be lying through her teeth, she says, I put it in the group chat just yesterday, Kathy Hochul says, man, you guys text a lot. Kathy Hochul says, public transit is a lifeblood of New York City and critical to our economic future. As a New Yorker, like President Trump, knows very well. Since the first In the Nation program took effect last month, congestion has dropped dramatically and commuters are getting to work faster than ever. Broadway shows are selling out and foot traffic to local businesses is spiking. School buses are getting kids to school on time. Yellow cab trips increased by 10%. Transit ridership is up. Drivers are having a better experience, and support for this program is growing every day.
That's a very positive way of viewing things.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You played yourself.
You know what I'm saying? She lying.
Yeah.
Well, she's saying
to an extent.
things-
Exaggerating.
Yes, they exaggerated some things. I definitely see less people in the city. But that's just me. Like walking around downtown, when I go into the city, I see less people there. The trains are more crowded, so there's that. And to Shawnee's point, I do see the car lots empty, and I do see a lot of restaurants and stores with way less people than usual. But that could also be a result of us living through the holidays for the last 3 months, and then congestion price kicking in right after the holidays.
Well, that's the part that I think has been a little okay. I'm in favor. I've switched my tune on it. Right. To me, it's done enough good that for someone like me who's in a position of privilege and can afford the $9, even though I find it annoying, I'm good with it, and I'm willing to at least give it a try and see if it makes an impact. That being said, the version that Governor Hochul just created of we know for a fact it worked, everything's fixed, it's did everything. Calm down, lady. It's been freezing and miserable, dead of winter.
Right.
Well, talk to me in April and May, and let's talk then after an actual amount of time we can look at numbers. They're running with numbers off of remember 3 days later they're like, that's it works.
Right.
So they're going too far. And also, let's just hit the button on all of us. We all know it's going to be political.
Congratulations. You played.
It's going to be what?
Political. Trump's against it. Guess what that means? I'm for it, and I'm cool with that.
But
I'm on the other side, bro.
God.
That's what you
come
think.
on, you can't
I'm
do
over
that.
here. Hit the button
No, I
if you
think
think otherwise.
he's being facetious.
Yeah.
Like
But yes,
he's saying
wait,
because that's
but
what
am
it's going
I?
to turn in. That's what it's going to turn into for mad people.
But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, even though I am being silly about it, it is telling, right? There is a reason people, it's 2025 America, guys. None of us just come to the same place on a thought anymore. It's all for a specific purpose. Trump put out a post yesterday, put a crown on his head,
I was
and
about to
said,
get to
"Long
that.
live the king." Hit the button. That's why he's doing it.
Yeah, it's
He's
crazy.
not doing it for any of the reasons he says, except that he thinks he can be a savior to some New York whites who are against it. That's
Right.
it.
But you know they put a rush on it as soon as he became president too, and he peaked that. So it seems like all the power struggle.
So now, to Rosenberg's point and everybody talking, there is a mass push to turn New York City red, New York State red Republican, and California red Republican. That's why the wildfire thing was so political, and Trump released, hundreds of thousands of gallons of water out of their reservoirs, out of the federal reservoirs that did not help the wildfires. They were like 200 miles away from the wildfires, but he was like, release the water. I saved LA. And everybody was like, that's not it. That water doesn't even, we don't even. But it was to put on a show. The same way this tweet and this troll yesterday, "Long live the king," was to try to get everybody to be mad about him calling himself a king.
Right.
And when any of this nonsense happens, I continually ask myself, what am I missing here that they don't want us to pay attention to? And since it was likely the meeting between Russia and Saudi Arabia with no Ukraine present, and it probably was overshadowing the fact that Europe is getting together to put together their own armed forces without the United States. And these things that are like real geopolitical world implications. Because him calling himself a king, it's Donald Trump. He's a felon also.
I thought
He's
that
got a
was
lot of
bad.
names. Felon, loser, many times impeached president.
Sex offender.
There's a lot. He's got a lot of names. And I'm going to tell you one thing. King is not one of them.
But guess what? It's a scary thought that he put that up. And
Right. And to some people, he is one of the.
well, and by the way,
If Trump is your king and
Is
you
okay?
call yourself an American, hit yourself with the button.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I wouldn't call myself the most patriotic, but I think we learned the reason this country exists. Full stop. Like the original idea was that no one would ever be king.
Right.
Didn't y'all education system teach us that?
no, I mean, go watch Hamilton, guys. We can't teach it to you. America's about not having kings. You thought it was a
Right.
good idea. Yo, man, honestly, we can't get distracted. Every day it's some nonsense like this. The White House their official page put out a fake picture of him in a crown. It's so embarrassing.
Crazy.
Yo, we are the epitome. We should be called the United States of that's your man's. Like, that's your man.
Well, first of all, we shouldn't even be called the United States because ain't nothing united.
Facts.
Divided
So hit us all with the button again because we were distracted from yesterday.
Congratulations, you
Guys,
played yourself.
Donald Trump openly and officially turned on Ukraine yesterday.
Yes.
It's
he blamed
official.
you. He said Ukraine started the war,
It is official.
which is a bold-faced lie.
Guys, we know parties, the Republicans and the Democrats see things differently at times. Ebro, I don't recall a time in history where one administration and most of the governing bodies that exist, include Congress and Senate, everyone was on board with supporting one nation in a war effort. The new president came in and within 3 weeks has basically been like, yeah, we're working with the other side now. Y'all shouldn't have started that war. And by the way, Zelensky, you're a dictator. Yo.
Called
we're paying-
Zelensky a dictator the same day he called himself a king.
You
hit
can't
the
write it. Yo, hit
Wow.
the button.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
No, you have to laugh. It's ridiculous. Because the reason you have to laugh is because it's ridiculous It's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yo, don't forget about Mayor Adams while we're here.
Well, you just want to hit the button? Like,
Hey, just hit the button, bro. Like, has he said anything about congestion pricing? Did you guys hear anything?
He's not going to say nothing.
no.
Oh, he did say something.
Oh, he did? What he say?
Yeah, he said, they asked him about it yesterday during his press conference. They asked him if Kathy Hochul should fight with a lawsuit. And he said, I have enough fights for those who want to throw stones at me.
Right.
Yo, he is
He
such
didn't
a
say
loser. What are you talking about?
Well, because
bro?
he's not going to pick a side.
Right.
Because him and Hochul been moving good on this congestion pricing. That's part
But he
one.
can't- but he can't
and he
go
can't go
part
against
one.
Trump either.
Bang.
Bang. And then you have a number of black politicians over in New York City who are basically like, yo, there's no constitutional evidence that Kathy Hochul should remove Mayor Eric Adams. And Kathy Hochul said in the 235 years, no one's ever done it. So she's taking it serious. And so there is some validity to people saying, let it play out, right? Like let the actual. The problem is Department of Justice is in the way of it actually playing out.
Right. So it can't really play out. It's either she lets it go and he just gets to be mayor and get off scot-free.
Well, no, he gets to be mayor until the election. People get to vote. And remember, he was in court yesterday, and the judge reminded him, and this is Eric Adams, that this comes back around in November this year. They can bring the case back.
By the way, is he going to run as a Democrat?
We don't know.
We don't
Or
know.
if he loses to Cuomo as a Democrat?
Is Cuomo officially running? He's announced that he's running.
No, it's being heavily reported he'll announce any day.
I feel like he is. I feel like he's going to do it.
If Cuomo were to run and win, would Adams lose and run as a Republican in the general? My guess would be yes. I don't know if you can, but he'll find a way.
Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead. I just want to watch this play out now. Now it's so interesting. I just want to watch it play out because there's people who love Cuomo.
Right, well,
They're into it.
A lot of people make bad choices every day.
They're into it. And when you look at why Cuomo stepped down, pales in comparison to the current president. So what are we even really talking about?
If that's the
And
reason,
Cuomo's a guy that'll go at Trump and go to war with Trump. Or at least he was. I don't know who he's going to be this time.
That's the thing. He was. Will he still? We don't know. And what about the old age homes thing with Cuomo? That wasn't good.
No, mad old people died.
Yeah.
In those senior living centers and they covered up a lot of it.
But he gave such a good press conference. People loved the daily press conference.
No, they loved how he handled that. But they came for him for the old people dying in the old folks' home.
And also for the sexual
harassment. Was it harassment or assault? I don't remember. But now
it was a lot.
The current president is the actual reason, one of the reasons COVID ran so crazy in the country anyway. So we still holding on to old folks' homes? The current president has 34 felonies and has been convicted of sexual assault.
Yeah, but
and has rape allegations. So we still holding on to Cuomo? Do people even care anymore?
This is the only choices we have. It's gonna be Eric Adams and Cuomo. Those are the worst choices.
No, there's more. We just have to find out.
No, there's a lot of other choices. They don't have.
I think there's like 5 more.
We live in America, man. It's about entertainment. Do people know your name or not?
Yeah.
It really is true. It's about who knows you.
Do people know your name or not? And do the cameras come on when you walk outside? Mayor Eric Adams, the cameras come on when he walks outside now. He's popping out here. Cuomo, as soon as there's a rumor that he might be running, his name was everywhere.
And if you think about it, Hochul, who's governor and is not like you just described, she got in there because Cuomo went down.
That's right.
She probably would have never been elected to an office that big because she's not a cameras on kind of person. She's just a regular, worked in politics, official and got a job.
But the real congratulations you played yourself is the fact that we live in a nation where often, especially in New York City, California, and at the federal government level, it's a popularity contest.
Exactly.
And so why do you think you have a-holes and criminals and underhanded folks who just want power and notoriety? They don't actually want to do the job. It's because they know we're going to vote for people who have name recognition.
Congratulations.